Right, let's see. Well, I just got back from my holiday and was checking Kickstarter, just having a quick look to see what's out there. And my thoughts are, the golden age is finished. Yeah, the golden age of Kickstarter is over. Yeah. I used to say it is a golden age of board games on Kickstarter, where if I give you $1,000, you would just go on Kickstarter and back it. Within 10 minutes, you could have had it all spent, because there'd be so many concurrent games on Kickstarter that were just so amazing that you would burn it through, right? At the minute, Kickstarter's not delivering, GameFound no. This happened in the video game industry where it died. Like, we're even seeing it now. The distance and time between video game launches these days is so incredibly big. It's why board games have kicked up and found a new market of video gamers waiting for video games to come out. And this is in part because of designers have used Kickstarter over the last 6-7 years to actually get their Magnus Opus out, and that's it. You know, you're not getting another fresh IP from that designer. No. And we started to see like retail companies come to Kickstarter, not really doing anything Kickstarter, mainly just pre-orders or big box versions of retail games and etc. But we're getting more second edition versions. We're getting newer expansions, really just a Kickstarter so you can buy the base game again and stuff like this. So we're not getting large new IPs that we're getting, possibly. Once Upon a Line, quirky, not really that phenomenal. It's a play once, legacy type game. You can't play it again, pass it on to somebody. Hero Realm Dungeons, looks kind of interesting, but it's, again, retail, isn't it? Marvel United Multiverse, it's just a reskin, isn't it? And do you really need more Marvel United? Well, apparently you do. It's at 2 million at the minute, isn't it? Over 2 million. Whatever, not interested in that game one bit. Hollywood 1947, the movie-making game of strategy and deception. That's kind of nice and quirky, I guess. That's over 500,000. That's an interesting concept. But it's still not something you would jump at if you had $1,000. Among Cultists, that's probably the only one you would jump at. That's, for me, a definite bag game by Good Old Games. That looks great. Arborea, this massive, colourful board, but uses abstract concepts, doesn't it? But, yes, there's nothing really jumping out on Kickstarter. And there's talk of things coming down the pipe, but it might just be one big Kickstarter a month, maybe 2 in a month if we're lucky. I don't know if Kickstarter is deliberately keeping it staggered so we don't get 2 big ones. Obviously Marvel United taking in the lion's share of funds at the minute. Maybe they are waiting another 7 days for that to finish its campaign, and then they'll drop the next big game. We don't know, but certainly there's no head-to-head big games happening, and definitely there's no interesting stuff out there yet. So is it starting to drip feed us games? That's what I'm saying. It's not like the tap has opened and it's gushing on Kickstarter. It's kind of drying up, and in some ways that's kind of expected, I guess. The creative bubble has to burst sooner or later, and the creative burst maybe have burst in the retail space a few years ago anyway, with when you run out of ideas for IP, you start to get IP from other mediums like books, video games, and of course movies. So So yeah, it's kind of, I knew it would be coming, but are we there now? Do I feel like we are there now? Yes, I kind of do. Kickstarter's getting smaller and less stuff happening on Kickstarter now, and it's probably on the downward of the graph, you know, the inverted U shape. It's on the down, and with that, I don't think it's that sad. It might be a little bit sad if you're new to the genre and you're hoping to see good stuff on Kickstarter. Maybe you will prefer the reruns that are coming out and all that good stuff, but yeah, it's a fairly sad place to be and all that good stuff. You know, did TV lose its creative bubble there a while back? It seems to be coming back round again. Certainly, with HBO Max kicking out some awesome stuff with The Last of Us and Mandalorian coming soon. You know, the Lord of the Rings TV show was fantastic. Star Trek was fantastic. There's some amazing stuff out there, right? So, you know, maybe it may return to a place, or we get a good month where something amazing does come, and it'll be like a standout thing. I mean, in the video games industry, we're getting an amazing game this quarter from Bethesda with Starfield, but and because that's like the first big game in a while, everybody's going to jump on it, and I think that's kind of what will happen with Kickstarter. So potentially when we see a big, fresh, super game come on Kickstarter, maybe everyone's going to leap on it because there's going to be a drought. Maybe there's going to be a drought. But there is people who know anticipated games that are coming out, and I can't wait to see these games, but it's like, there's nothing inspiring yet, is there? In fact, the only thing I'm curious for coming up is the Gloomhaven miniature series and role-playing book that they've got coming out. And that's partly because of the, 20 games that I'm still waiting to get delivered, and many of them are coming out this year, late of course. I think the average wait time has now gone from 2 to 3 years on my games I'm waiting on, so still anticipating every one of them big time and all that good stuff. And I think that's another reason why we might see more reprints, because all these games that are late, of course they're going to come back and do a reprint, because it's so much cheaper to do a reprint on Kickstarter, because you've got everything ready at the printer just to press the green button, right? Unless you're doing some future changes here and there, but it's effectively a lot cheaper to do a second Kickstarter and all that good stuff. So yeah, that's the way it's going, I'm afraid. I'll be happy to be proven wrong if we get a good year on Kickstarter, but as it is now, I fear the worst. I'd love to know your comments, of course. Leave them down below. Think about subscribing and all that good stuff. And if you're interested in video games, indie video games that is, check out my sister channel, PC Gamer Radio, where I'm doing a let's play of the incredible Factorio, which is just a bananas game, but what an epic story your character goes on in that game if you're role-playing. It's such good fun. Well, I look forward to getting back into gaming this week. Depends on the group, of course, and what size it'll be. But I'll be back to the table this weekend for sure. Otherwise, I'll be back on Factorio. So, love to know what you're playing this week. Are you playing any video games? What are you looking forward to? For me, it is Starfield in video games. And it is, of course, the Gloomhaven miniature pack and RPG, what I'm looking forward to. What's your next anticipated crowdfunding game? I'd love to know in the comments. Well, this has been Lipstickpaddy here for PC Gamer, not PC Gamer, for Kickstarter Radio 102.4, doing a nightcap chat on Has the Golden Age Ended on Kickstarter. So thank you so much for listening. You take care, stay safe, and bye-bye for now.